Hey everybody, this is Dave coming to you from the Gaming Cave. Today we're continuing our playthrough of Advanced Squad Leader, playing with the Yanks module. This is ASL Scenario 181, Gavin take. Okay, and it's turn 2. But before I start, thank you for the comments. But I did make one big mistake, and I am gonna rectify it. It's not gonna change the play, but this is the way I should have played it. I overstacked this, and I shouldn't have done that, and I shouldn't have been moving them, and they shouldn't have had firepower and all that stuff. But I'm not going to change any of the firepower stuff, but I'm going to split 2 squads out and put them back in the woods, then have 2 squads with the leader. The stacking limit is 3 squads. So I'm going to have 2, and a leader right there. Okay, and then these 2 squads. And then I understand the strategy of, don't move leaders and big stacks of units all in one time. I get that, and the reason I was doing that over here is because they're not in any line of fire, so they actually got through the they're moving around behind this hillside, so they're moving as a platoon right now and get their leader bonus, because I need to get up here. I only have 6 turns, and 1 turn's already gone. I got to get all the way up here and still fight my way out of here. And the Germans also are going to be working their way around here once these guys break loose here. Things are going to change again. So it's a interesting dynamic, I think, that's happening, but we're going to give it a shot here. Okay, so going back to my trusty sequence of play, and we're going to start with the rally phase. This is the U.S. turn of part of turn 2, so the U.S. has nobody to rally. The Germans do have a rally to do here, and it is this squad here. Their rally numbers are 7. They are in woods. And they have a leader there, which is -1, but they have desperation morale +4. All right. So I was doing a little research, and so this would be, he is a -1 +4, so they would be a +3. This German squad needs a 7 or higher. Yeah, 7 or higher. 5 + 3 is 8. So he failed the morale check. But the desperation morale comes off. And then the other thing I need to do, that you're supposed to do, is roll for a wind change. If you roll a 2, there's a wind change. I should have done that very first thing. I got a 5. So no wind change. Okay, so we still have no wind. All right, brings us to prep fire, and I do not have any prep fire to do, so that takes us to the movement phase. Okay, so I'm going to start over here, because this is going to be pure movement for these guys. And they're going to move. This whole stack is moving. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They're going into that building. This stack is going to move, let's see, 3. They're going to move this way. 1.5, and 1.5 makes 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so they're in the buildings. So they're both in cover there. All right, and still behind the hill, so nobody sees them. Okay, now we're going to go over here to these guys, and we're going to make an attempt here with this squad. Get this, as you can see, that subscript of 3 is their number for deploying smoke. So this squad I'm going to put them on top of this leader. They're going to try to deploy smoke here. So they have to roll. We'll give them the black die for this one. They need to roll a 1, 2, or 3, and they can deploy smoke here. 3, got it. All right. So we have a smoke marker. Oops. It's a +2, level 2. So we put that smoke there. Now that smoke will only be there for this movement phase. Once this movement phase is over, then that smoke is gone. It doesn't have, this is from a smoke grenade, so it doesn't have time to generate, drifting smoke and all that stuff. It's not heavy enough. It's not like artillery fire and things like that. Okay, so this squad is going to move, and these guys are going to open fire on them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. They have a machine gun, and they're going to be at long range, these 2 squads. So they'll be at half firepower. They're going to do defensive first fire right here. Oops, marking the wrong guy. Right here. Okay, so that is firepower of 3. He has a range of 8. And we have 4 and 4. That's 8 in half is 4 for the long range. +3 is 11. Do that again. They have 4 and 4 is 8. In half is 4. +3 is 7. First fire. 7, which will drop them back to 6. 6 on this fire table. And they get first fire non-assault movement. We'll give them a -1. But the smoke takes away the open ground movement. And is a +2 die roll modifier. So they're actually going to be table column 6 +1. Okay. And when he deployed smoke, it cost him 2 movement factors. So he's up to 3 right now. All right. And the Germans fire, and they get an 8, +1 is a 9. Oops. And a 9 on 6 is a miss. Okay. And they're going to move through, and they go 6, and now they go half of that, I do believe. I'm going to stop and go look. They get residual fire is there, so I have to look and see what that is now. Okay, so if I read this right, the machine gun fires into there, and he leaves a residual firepower of half, up to half. So 6, half of that would be 3. It doesn't go up to 4, it would go to 2. So he gets 2 firepower, residual firepower in that hex. So anybody that moves into that hex is going to take residual firepower. Okay. Last thing I want to check then, I got to make sure, because I'm using the machine guns for the first time, is this rate of fire. I also want to look at that. Okay, so let's just look at this real quick too. So here's the German light machine gun. That number 1 in the square is his maintain his rate of fire, which means that he could continue to fire into that, but he did not, because you use on the die roll the colored die, and my colored die was a 2, thank goodness. So he does not maintain rate of fire. So now there's only residual fire there. Okay. So now that guy moved. This squad's going to move. He's going to go 1, Put him there, and now he's going to get fired on with, I'll just kind of unstack these so I don't have to keep doing it. He gets fired on table, firepower of 2. He gets non-assault movement, which is a -1. Smoke is a +1. So it is table 2 +1. Nine +1's a 10. So that's nothing. So he can continue to move. So he was at 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going to move there. Now my leader's coming across. Same thing. 1, table 2 +1. 8 +1's a 9. On table 2 is 0. So my leader scoots across there. The smoke was a great thing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to put him there. Okay, this squad's moving up. 2, 3 puts him there. Again, table 2 +1. 12. So that's no effect. 3, 4. He stacks here. Luckily, this building's going to block everything with the trees. This guy's doing the same exact thing. Table 2 +1. 7. That's an 8 on 2 is nothing. Okay. And he'll end up 3, 4 here also. Residual stays there, although there won't be any more firing from there. And that is going to end my movement phase. But I have to look, because I did first fire. Somewhere they get a final fire, and did they get to do that final fire? I need to check that, because that next squad that came across, they probably should have had final fire on them. And we may have to go back and look and see if that affected them. So let me check this. I'm getting used to the movement phase with the defensive fire going on too. So let me check this again. No, I think, excuse me, I think I did that right. He did first fire, and then if he could have done final fire during the defensive fire phase, but there's not going to be anybody for him to fire at. So we're moving into the defensive fire phase. So at the end of the move phase, this residual comes off, and that smoke counter also comes off. So the smoke clears. I got that 2 platoons, or platoon and a squad through there. Usually a platoon has 3 squads in it, so this one's got 4. So it's it's an oversized platoon with the captain up here, and he's already scouting ahead. So we're going to see what we can do now to bring these guys. I want to bring them around this hill, and then bring them down in here. That's what we're trying to do anyway. So probably should have kept my captain back in there, but I didn't. Okay, so defensive fire phase. I don't have any other defensive fire to do, so nobody's there. So now we can do our advancing phase. Don't have any advancing fire to do. We don't have any route to do. Advanced phase. So these guys, he's not going to advance. I think I will advance these guys into the woods now. And then these guys are all going to move up 1. He'll stay there. Okay. All right. So here we go. That was the advanced phase. We do close combat, there isn't any. And then we remove our first fire marker from here. And we go to up here. And this becomes German. Turn 2. Okay. So the Germans, there's a rally to do here. This time he is a -1 to the die roll. So he needs a 7 and -1 to the die roll. 9, yeah. The sergeant still can't get those guys rallied. So he's still working on them. Okay, that's the end of the rally phase. Supposed to roll for that wind change. 8, no wind change. Okay. Prep fire, I have no prep fire. So we're going to go into the Germans' movement phase. Now, we know these guys are all trying to come here. Everybody, that's the objective. So we're going to start moving now. So I got this group here. This is a leader, a medium machine gun, and a squad. So they're going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, and they're going to set up here. They have a hindrance here, but they're set up to kind of cut this off a little bit. Also have another squad. I like him there because he's got line of sight down this way, and this guy's here. I want to move these guys up here. They're going to move 2. Is that the way I want to go? Yeah, they'll move 2 and then 3. They're behind the wall, and they're going to stop there. The guy's still got to get. He needs to get recovered. Okay, so that's my movement phase. So now the Germans are shifting because they know these guys are flanking them out here, and they're building up, getting ready for the fight down here. At least that's the way that I would play it as the Germans. I'm going to try to keep you from getting through there. Advancing fire phase, we don't have any. No route phase. Advance phase, these guys will advance up to here now. Close combat phase, none. I have no markers, so this was a quick turn here. And that's the end of that. And we'll go to turn 3 for the Americans. Okay, so my goal here is to keep these short. Gives me a chance. This is learning for all of us, I hope. Some of you already know it, so it's teaching me a little bit. And for those of you that would rather see me make a playthrough, I'm really trying to make sure I learn this part of the game really well. So right now the Germans are set up right here on this south edge of that. Well, yeah, south edge of the little village here. At Chef Dupont, and they're set up here to make sure that they control this hex here. So these guys kind of got a lane of fire. I've got fire that can come in here. If I get these guys moving down in here, I can kind of cut this off, maybe even get these guys in a building here before they can get around here. So we got a lot going on. It's kind of a race. I got these guys coming down through the woods, but they're going to have to do something here pretty soon, or I'm going to have to bring these guys up through here to do something. So things are getting touchy now. Okay, that's where I'm going to leave it at, and hopefully I did the smoke right, and if so, it shows the power of the smoke getting through there when you're cutting across a road or through some open ground to get to your next band to cover. So the smoke definitely helped. All right, I hope you're enjoying this. I hope we're starting down this and get this small game under control. And if it works well, then great. So if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. It really does help the channel on YouTube and get more views. And if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. I'd like to have you. And as always, leave me your comments and suggestions, and we'll see how things turn out here as we go into turn 3, which will be the midpoint of this scenario. The Americans got a lot to do still, And the Germans have a massive firepower starting to form up here. So we got hedgerows, we got lots of stuff going on here. So we'll see what happens. You know, the sad thing for the Americans is a lot of open ground that they got to work through. So we'll see how it goes. Okay, everybody have a good one, and I'll see you at the next one.